China's President Xi just made his speech in Mansion House. He was talking about China's economic structure and how will China cooperate with UK and Europe.
The Right Honourable David Cameron, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, friends from the Chinese and the British business communities, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It gives me great pleasure to attend today's summit. As China-UK relations continue to grow and our practical cooperation deepens across the board, this summit could not be held at a better time. It will go a long way towards furthering China-UK cooperation in economy, trade, investment, and finance. Over the years, friends from the Chinese and British business communities present today have worked tirelessly and made a significant contribution to closer business cooperation and bilateral relations between our two countries. I wish to take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt appreciation and warm greetings to you. The British like to start their conversation by talking about the weather. It is said that this is because the weather here is constantly changing, which always gives people something to talk about. Just like the British weather, the current world economic climate is equally prone to change. So I would like to start by sharing with you my observations on the world economy. Although the shadow cast by the global financial crisis and the sovereign debt crisis is yet to fade away, a ray of sunshine is dawning on world economic recovery. According to IMF estimates, the world economy is expected to grow by 3% or more this year. At the same time, the world economy is in a period of profound adjustments and frequent fluctuations. Development in different countries and regions is uneven. Uncertainties and destabilizing factors still abound. All of these made it hard to conclude that bad weather is gone for good. We Chinese believe that strong wind reveals the resilience of grass, just as distance tests a horse's strength. The British people often say that the good seaman is known in bad weather. The more uncertain the outlook is, the more important that we keep our confidence. Historical experience and the law of economics tell us that world economic growth is never a smooth sailing. Nonetheless, growth remains the trend that will not be altered by the rise or fall in economic numbers or fluctuations in the market performance. The outlook for the European economy is stable on the whole. The EU and its members are implementing structural reforms, putting in place new governance mechanisms, and rolling out major initiatives such as the Investment Plan for Europe, Energy Union, and Digital Union. We believe that Europe, with the wisdom and hard work of its people, will certainly achieve new development and progress. For various reasons, some emerging market economies are now experiencing a slowdown in growth, with some countries facing more difficulties and challenges than others. Yet after decades of rapid development, emerging market economies have grown in size and resilience. Built on more solid foundations, these economies still enjoy sound economic fundamentals and will remain strong drivers of global economic growth. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, as the world's biggest emerging economy, China has entered a new normal in its economic development. Against the background of mounting difficulties in the world economy, the Chinese economy grew by 6.9% in the first 3 quarters of this year, and it is still playing an important role in leading global growth. Currently, the Chinese economy is generally stable, and steady progress has been made in our efforts to stabilize growth, advance reform, adjust the structure, improve people's well-being, and fend off risks. The main indicators stay within the reasonable range and are consistent with our expectation. Admittedly, the Chinese economy does face some downward pressure and structural problems. But such adjustment is both inevitable and normal at a time when the economy reaches a certain stage after years of high growth. We have set our development goals for 2020, namely to double the GDP and the per capita incomes of urban and rural residents over those in 2010. To attain the goal of doubling the GDP, a growth rate of around 7% will suffice. What China needs now is to enhance the quality and efficiency of its economic growth and address the lack of balance, coordination, and sustainability in its economic development, so as to facilitate more steady progress in the long run. We will continue to make earnest efforts to promote steady growth, advance reform, adjust the structure, improve people's well-being, and fend off risks, so as to ensure sustained and healthy growth of the economy. China has become the world's second-largest economy. Even a growth rate of 7% or a bit less will bring about an annual increment of more than $800 billion. China's new type of industrialization, IT application, urbanization, and agricultural modernization are moving forward. It has enormous consumption potential, hard-working people, and a huge market space, all of which provide the foundation and conditions for China to maintain medium to high growth going forward. China is working on its 13th five-year plan for economic and social development. The priority is to accelerate the shift of economic growth model and structural adjustments with a greater emphasis on the quality of growth, which will be driven more by innovation and consumption. In our efforts to comprehensively deepen reform, we will stay committed to market-oriented reform and fully unleash the vitality of various market players. At the same time, the government needs to maintain an open, equitable, and fair market order. After more than 3 decades of rapid development, China's middle-income group is expanding. Its total factor productivity keeps rising, and its economic growth model is shifting at a faster pace. The Chinese economy will maintain its strong momentum and unlock even greater potential for development. The Chinese economy will operate within a proper range, and there will be no hard landing. We will stay committed to the win-win strategy of opening up and promote China's development in the context of world prosperity and development. Opening up is an important driver for sustained prosperity of the Chinese economy and the fundamental way for China and the rest of the world to achieve win-win cooperation. As China further opens up its market, scales up foreign trade and investment, advances financial reform and liberalization in an orderly fashion, and actively participates in global economic governance, it will contribute even more positive energy to the world. China will not close the door it has opened. We are working to build a new system of an open economy and will make renewed effort to promote an open world economy. In the coming 5 years, China is expected to import over $10 trillion of goods and invest more than $500 billion overseas. More than 500 million Chinese tourists will also travel abroad. This presents enormous business opportunities. Next year, China will host the 11th G20 summit. We hope all of you present will work together with us and contribute more wisdom and support to progress in global governance and world economic recovery. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, new era calls for new ideas. In 2013, I put forth the initiative to build the Silk Road Economic Belt and the 21st Century Maritime Silk Road. It has been warmly received by the international community. The Silk Road linked China with the faraway Europe more than 2,000 years ago. Today, the Belt and Road Initiative will bring enormous opportunities to China and countries along the Belt and Road for common development. The Belt and Road is an open initiative. It is based on, but not limited to, the ancient Silk Road. Geographically, it links up the Asia-Pacific Economic Circle in the east and the European Economic Circle in the west. It is a circle of friends stretching from Asia to Europe and going through Africa. All countries interested in this initiative are welcome to join this circle of friends. The Belt and Road is a diverse initiative. Cooperation areas are wide-ranging, from infrastructure, energy development, to logistics and transportation, as well as from investment and cooperation on production capacity to people-to-people exchanges. The forms of cooperation are also diverse. Private capital, professional investment institutions, companies, and visionaries from various countries can all participate in this initiative. The Belt and Road is a win-win initiative. Countries participating in it follow the principle of wide consultation, joint contribution, and shared benefits, and seek common development and prosperity. It is not an alley privately owned by a certain party. Rather, it is a broad road leading to common progress for all. We are pleased to see that people of various sectors in Europe, where the ancient Silk Road ended, are all keen to join the Belt and Road Initiative. In recent years, China and Europe have been advancing cooperation to promote policy communication, transport connectivity, unimpeded trade, currency flow, and people-to-people exchange. Such cooperation has already yielded initial results. China and the EU have reached initial agreement over the synergy of the Belt and Road Initiative and European development strategies. China and the EU have made positive progress in efforts to set up a cooperation platform for connectivity and the China-EU Joint Investment Fund. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, the UK is a country that is famed for its long-term vision and international perspective. China-UK cooperation plays an outstanding role in leading the overall China-EU cooperation. The UK has been at the forefront in working with China on issues ranging from the AIIB and RMB internationalization to energy and infrastructure development. We are deeply impressed by the strong will and positive stance of the UK to grow relations and cooperation with China. All of you present today are supporters, participants, and contributors to China-UK business cooperation. I appreciate the confidence of the UK government, business community, and the general public in China and in China-UK cooperation. China and the UK are highly complementary in our industrial structures. We both stand for open market and free trade and wish to expand two-way investment. We have a lot to do together under the framework of the Belt and Road Initiative, and there is tremendous potential in this regard. In this connection, I would like to raise the following proposals to open up new vistas in China-UK cooperation. First, we must deepen mutual trust. As Confucius said, I do not see how a man can be acceptable who is untrustworthy in word. Political mutual trust provides the basis for cooperation. Without it, cooperation will be unsustainable. During my visit, both sides have agreed to build a China-UK global comprehensive strategic partnership for the 21st century. This sets the direction for bilateral cooperation in various fields in the next 5 to 10 years and will bring our cooperation onto the fast track of development. Second, we must synergize our development strategies. In the wave of economic globalization, if we are to deepen our cooperation, we must get our development strategies and industrial policies well aligned with each other. China welcomes UK capital, technology, and talent to join the Belt and Road Initiative. Its 13th Five-Year Plan, the Internet Plus strategy, and the Made in China 2025 initiative. We will continue to provide UK companies with relevant policy information and a sound investment environment. I know that the UK government has put forth the UK Industry 2050 strategy. It dovetails with China's development strategy and industrial policy, and will bring enormous opportunity to bilateral cooperation. Third, we must seek deliverables in practical cooperation. As a saying in China goes, clutch a piece of iron and you should leave your handprint on it. Step onto a stone and you should leave your footprint on it. China-UK cooperation has to produce tangible outcomes in order to benefit the people of the two countries. Our two sides should make solid efforts to move forward big projects, including nuclear energy, high-speed railway, and infrastructure building, and work to commence these landmark projects at an early date. The two sides need to establish long-term mechanisms to deepen business cooperation at the subnational level. China values the RMB internationalization process in London and in Europe. We will continue to support the RMB offshore market in London and step up cooperation with the UK in the IMF, the World Bank, the AIIB, and other multilateral financial institutions. China is willing to promote SME cooperation with the UK and will continue to encourage Chinese enterprises to invest overseas. We also welcome more UK companies to invest and do business in China and hope that the UK will continue to provide Chinese companies with sound investment environment and better conditions. Fourth, we must innovate the forms and models of cooperation. Facing a never-changing international situation, China-UK cooperation must also be innovative. We must deepen emerging industries cooperation and carry out win-win cooperation between the 7 major strategic emerging industries China has identified and the 8 technology and strategic industries identified by the UK. We must step up cooperation in particular in new energy, smart city, biomedicine, innovation, in science and technology, and e-commerce. While conducting bilateral cooperation, Chinese and British businesses may also consider tripartite cooperation to jointly tap the international market. China is willing to explore with the UK opportunities to leverage our respective strengths and jointly help Asian, African, and Latin American regions and countries to develop based on the needs and consent of third parties and with their participation. It is important to give overall consideration to all factors and make scientific evaluation of PPP, BOT, and other investment, financing, and operation models. Select the best to complement each other's strengths, try to maximize the economic and social returns of cooperation, and bring more benefit to our two peoples. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, after the storm comes the rainbow. Let us stay confident and forge ahead hand in hand, rain or shine. Let us jointly promote world economic growth and usher in an even better future for China-UK and China-EU cooperation. Thank you.